Like Raghunath Das Goswami, he's another of the 6 Goswamis. He's, in the beginning of his life, he was in a billionaire family. And so he was used to very super excellent, opulent, everything, including food. And after he began to take to Krishna consciousness, slowly over time he became more and more renounced until he was eating so simply that people were astonished. Like once in every couple of days, he would drink a small cup, like a leaf cup, a banana leaf cup. If you've ever seen a banana leaf cup, it's not that big. He would drink a banana leaf cup of just buttermilk, and that's all he would sustain on his life. And so the point is, that's not what we should try to do today, because obviously we're not on that level. And but that's someone who's actually experiencing, the full Krishna conscious experience. They will mitigate these things and decrease these things, because as your spiritual life, it gets bigger, and your spiritual desire gets bigger, your material life gets smaller, and your material desires go small. And until it gets to the point where our spiritual desires are so great that there's no room for any material desire, then that's actually the goal. That's actually what we're trying to cultivate. So, and also in terms of health, one of the most important things is not necessarily what you eat, but when you eat it. And an obvious thing, but it sometimes people fail to grasp it, is that you should only eat when you're hungry. If you're not hungry, then don't eat, even though you're trying to have like a regulated schedule. That's a sign. It's an easy sign from that Krishna's giving you the sense to be able to feel whether you're hungry or not. And Prabhupada would always do that. If he was hungry, he would like tell his people to quickly like prepare something. Especially as someone ages. If someone's young, they can never eat too much, and if someone is old, there's like a saying, they can never eat too little. And I researched Dhanvantari a little bit, in the many different statements Prabhupada made. So Prabhupada said in a letter to the artists, Prabhupada would like, all these wonderful paintings were painted by different devotees, mostly disciples of Prabhupada. And when Prabhupada would ask for a certain painting in a book, the devotees would have no idea sometimes like what to paint, how to paint it. So they would ask him all kinds of questions, and he would quickly respond so they could do it. And so someone asked him, what is like the color of skin of all these different avatars? So he's saying Dhanvantari is yellowish. He has yellowish skin. And in the 9th canto of the Bhagavatam, it's explaining the different lineages. So it's saying the son of Kashya was Kashi, and his son was Rashtra, and his son was Dirgatama. And Dirgatama had a son named Dhanvantari. So now this son is the incarnation we're talking about. And he is the inaugurator of the medical science and the incarnation of Lord Vasudeva, the enjoyer of the results of sacrifice. One who remembers the name of Dhanvantari can be released from all disease. So this is another similar thing is being said in our verse here, where just by remembrance of his names, the disease of the material existence becomes finished. Prabhupada's saying, the name of the Lord is also called Bhava Shodhi, or the source of curing the disease of material existence. There's another song written by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. It's called Jeev Jago, and it's saying, Eneche Ashodhi Maya Nashi Baro Lagi Hari Nama Mahamantra Lao Tumi Magi. It means that Lord Chaitanya is speaking this. I've brought the medicine that will wipe out the disease of illusion from which you are suffering. Take this Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So there he says the Ashaudi, the medicine. This Mahamantra is actually the medicine. The name of Krishna is the medicine that everyone actually needs. Because ultimately, no matter how well we maintain Ayurvedic habits, it's said that there's some Ayurvedic fasts and cleanses that you can do that once you're done doing it, it'll make you live for 800 years. But what's the point? I mean, that's just, after 800 years, you're going to have to die after that, no matter how well you maintain it. So the body is actually a symbol of diseases. So we want to get off the bodily concept, and the method that our acharyas have given, the main thing is the chanting of this Maha Mantra. This will help us connect with the spiritual energy, connect with Krishna, and reconnect with our actual spiritual body. Like we have material bodies, but our spiritual body is perfectly maintained with Ayurveda. It's never diminishing. And in a similar chapter in the first canto, the third chapter of the first canto is actually really similar to this 7th chapter of the second canto, because it's listing different incarnations, and it mentions Dhanvantari there. In the 12th incarnation, the Lord appeared as Dhanvantari, and in the 13th, he allured the atheists by the charming beauty of a woman and gave nectar to the demigods to drink. So this is where we hear about Dhanvantari most, when the churning of the sea of milk happened. There was many things that came out, and the whole point that the demons and the devotees and the demigods got together to churn the ocean was to get this nectar. And so at the very end, finally, Dhanvantari comes with a pot of nectar, and we're hearing in that verse, he is an incarnation of Lord Vasudeva, the Lord in his incarnation, Bhagavan Dhanvantari, so he's an incarnation of the personality of Godhead. But we hear in that story, in the churning of the ocean, that the Asuras stole the pot of nectar from Dhanvantari, and Madhvacharya quotes that even though Dhanvantari was very strong, the Asuras managed to take it from him. So that leads to the question, how can someone take something from the Supreme Personality of Godhead? It's said that, if Krishna wants to take something from you, there's nothing you can do. If Krishna wants to kill you, no one can save you. If Krishna wants to protect you, no one can kill you. So this doesn't, how does that make sense? So now the question has to be asked, what kind of avatar is Dhanvantari? Because there's a classification of avatars. Krishna consciousness is scientific. It's not just sentimentalism. It's extremely well defined, and one thing people, like atheists, when they're arguing against Christians or arguing against some religious things, like if someone says something fanatic, like, everything you guys are doing is just the devil working. Like a lot of Christians will say something like that when they don't have a way to actually explain it. So the atheist response will be like, I lost my train of thought. Oh, it's unfalsifiable. Like, why do you believe in God? The way that you present your belief is unfalsifiable. Where actually Christian consciousness has many things which you can directly study and directly see and logically analyze, and everything. Everything can be explained to a degree, and the things that can't be explained are at least sensible. They're explained by saying that they're inconceivable, because you can't just say there's nothing that's inconceivable. The world, it's conceivable and reasonable and rational to have the view that the world consists of things that we can conceive of, and then there's another category of things that we can't conceive of. So if something's talking about everything, Janmadi Asya Yato Nyanvad Itiras Charteshu Abhigna Swara, if it's talking about the absolute truth, which concludes everything, then it has to also include those inconceivable things, which are also a part of reality. So what kind of avatar is Dhanvantari? So what kind of avatars are there, first of all? Does anyone know? Do you know? Have it in your reading? Have you read about avatars? Whew! Oh my gosh, he's been reading. Wow. Okay. Now, you're there, but now I doubt you can name the 6. I'll be very surprised if you can name 6.
Avatar number 1. Krishna number 1.
No, these are categories. They're not like numbers, because actually in the end of the 3rd chapter it says, actually, if you could count how many raindrops are coming out of the sky, you still couldn't count the number of avatars. There's unlimited avatars. So, but sometimes the acharyas will divide it into 6 types. So we could try to get these 6 types listed off. Leela avatars. That's the kind of avatar where they don't exhibit They don't try to do anything. They're just having lila. They're having play. They're having fun. And Natabara-avatar. No. Shakti Avesh avatar. Shakti Avesh. So it means one who is taking the Shakti of Bhagavan. Bhagavan has invested his Shakti into a specific individual that they may not necessarily be a full incarnation, but God has given them a certain energy to be able to perform a task. Like Rishabdev, he was given the power, he had the full Shakti of God to be able to rule over and make things like, nice. Okay, so Shakti Vesh, Leela Avatar, Purusha Avatar. So Purush means like a man or the controller, and so there's 3 Purusha avatars. They're like the controllers of the whole universe. The whole material universe, I'll say, is Mahavishnu or Karna Dakshayi Vishnu. And then the controller of each universe is Karna Dakshayi Vishnu? Garbha Dakshayi Vishnu, thank you. Yeah, Garbha Dakshayi Vishnu, because from his navel comes, something. So that's Garbha Dakshayi Vishnu. And he's maintainer of each individual universe, not the whole material collection of all the universes, all the material universes. There's unlimited different material universes, and those are all coming out of the pores as Mahavishnu is just breathing, like his outward exhalations, like in that time, the universe expands, is created, and then it is destroyed. Like 311 trillion years is the length of his breath. And in each of those universes, he expands himself into Garbha Dakshayi Vishnu, who then fills up half the universe with water, and then proceeds to make Lord Brahma come out, and then Lord Brahma creates everything else from that. So, but then also, in each individual particle and individual thing, and an individual power that each individual has, there's like an expansion of Super Soul or Kshiro Dakshayi Vishnu, that he's like the individual maintainer of that. And also Kshiro Dakshayi Vishnu he'll be the gateway, or he'll be the one to take different avatars to perform different functions to maintain the universe. So that's Purusha avatar. So we've got Leela avatar, Shakti Vesh avatar, Purusha avatar, Guna avatar. There's 3 Guna avatars. Vishnu, which is talking about Kshiro Dakshayi Vishnu, and he's over the mode of goodness. Then we have some of these avatars overlap, and we'll see that also with Dhanvantari. Guna avatar, and then you have Brahma over the mode of passion, because he creates everything, although he's a living entity most of the time. Although if there's no qualified living entity, the Lord can also take Brahma's position. And then you have Shiva, which is Tamagun avatar, and he's also the one who helps destroy everything. That's the main feature of Tamagun, is it breaks down and destroys things. Okay, so Guna, Purusha, Shakti Vesh, Leela. Okay, Manvantar. So there's 71 or 14 Manvantaras per kalpa. No, there's 71 kalpas per Manvantars. And there's 14 Manvantars per 1,000 kalpas.
The original Brahmas are the Manus?
No, Brahma made some of the the Manus. They're just different incarnations of the Lord that come and they help rule the whole universe and keep it going.
They were the first creation of the
Lord Brahma was like the first created living entity.
Yeah, aren't those the Manus?
Similar, a little different. And then, okay, so you said Nam avatar. So that you could maybe say that's there. Yuga avatars is like Nam avatar is not wrong, and there's also things called Kalpa avatar, and there's many different subcategories. But Yuga avatar, that you could say that is Nam avatar. In this age of Kali, it's the Lord comes in the Śhrīmad-Bhāgavatam in His holy name, and then as a hidden avatar, He comes as Lord Chaitanya. What's that famous verse? Yeah, that one's nice, but the one in the Bhagavatam in the 11th canto, when they're Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam Sango Pangashta Parshadam Yagnai Sankirtana Prayer Yajanti Hi Sumedasa. So those with good braided substance will worship the Lord who comes not black, but always chanting Krishna's name, Krishna Varna, and who's come with all his associates in parishads. So that's Lord Chaitanya. He's like the hidden avatar. So that's the 6 kind of avatars. So Dhanvantari, he is he's listed as part of the Leela avatars when you make the list of Leela avatars, because he's a Kalpa avatar. He has to come every Kalpa because every Kalpa this churning happens. It has to bring about certain things, and so he comes and brings the nectar and inaugurates the science of Ayurveda. But also, now to resolve the kind of doubts that someone may have that how can Dhanvantari have something stolen from him, is that he's also mentioned as a Shakti Vaishya avatar. He's given that knowledge of Ayurveda. That's the Shakti that the Lord is invested in him. And he's also like a very qualified demigod, able to accept sacrifices. And so, due to being a Shakti Vaishya avatar and a Leela avatar, in one sense, it's just his Leela that he let the Asuras take the pot of nectar to be able to have some sort of pastimes like that. And it's not like Dhanvantari is an avatar that wants to exhibit the strength of the Lord. I mean, if the Lord wants to exhibit his strength, he can just completely smash all the material universe. It's just like that. But he has a purpose behind them, and he has a purpose behind each of his different avatars. And so he doesn't do that. The nectar just helps whoever drinks it live a long time. Like the demigods, they live, it's considered 6 months is a day and 6 months is a night for them. So for us, it's a year. For them, it's a day. So they live a long, long time. So they drink this nectar. It helps them live a long time. It helps them become strong so they can fight. The demigods are also always fighting with the demons. So they want to become strong to beat the demons. So in this pastime, the demons and the demigods work together, say that they're going to share the nectar together, but then actually they cheat each other. But the demigods end up winning because they get the supreme cheater. The supreme cheater, the asuras, the demons tried to cheat the demigods. The demigods ultimately got the upper hand because they had the supreme cheater, the supreme lord, on their side. So that's how they won. And there's 1 minute and 15 seconds for comments.
Where can you get this nectar from?
The eighth canto. Actually, the nectar, the Bhagavatam, is any verse, any word, any syllable, any sentence is full of nectar. So just read the Bhagavatam and you'll get the immortal nectar. Ram Rai Prabhu, would you like to say anything for 55 seconds?
For 55 seconds? at the maximum. Well, this is very nice that Dhanvantari Krishna, as Dhanvantari inaugurated medical science, and that everything that we need to be cured is already manifested, on the earth planet. All of these dangerous, demoniacally created pharmaceuticals and vaccines are meant for the destruction of humankind, so we don't want to take the vaccine. Mr. Conscious, that is political, but I thought I'd like to say that.
Okay. Yeah, and that reminds me that according to Ayurveda, the herbs and plants that are around the place of your birth are the ones that are going to help you get back to your natural health the best. But unfortunately in America, there's not very good herbs and things, so people.
Yeah, it's more like Native American medicine.
Yeah, it's just, and if you go to like some village, it's not like they have someone that's like going to take all this time to prepare a really difficult medicine. In Ayurveda, they have very difficult medicines to prepare. But normally it's just like, no, you just grab that plant and just put it in your sabji and just eat it. And you eat it over 5 or 10 days and then you'll be more healthy. And they're very so they can use these subtle cures and these things and they can maintain very good health and they're conscious like that. Okay, Grantaraj, Śhrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai.
I was like to add like a maxim that's come to me, that one of the first step to not getting sick is that you want to not want to be sick.
Yeah, that's true. If you want to be sick, then you can eat all some kinds of crap, and
Don't want to be sick,
then it's possible that you'll be inspired to follow the actual rules to not get sick and give yourself good habits.
You can wake up sleeping then you can't get mad.
well, the ultimate medicine is the Mala mantra. So
Yeah.
taking
Nichya Shauki.
gigantic doses of Mala mantra and getting sick right away becomes less likely.
Like Krishnadas Babaji said, all the vitamins are in the holy name.